Welcome to Business Review, a daily program that delves into the latest and most significant economic stories. From stock markets to currency news, Business Review covers the most up-to-date developments in the global finance.
Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi said in his meeting with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Moscow that China is ready to work with Russia to make comprehensive preparations for future high-level interactions and make plans for further cooperation in various areas. He congratulated the Russian side on successfully hosting the meeting of foreign ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization member countries and the meeting of Chinese, Russian, and Indian foreign ministers, which have sent a clear signal that the countries stick to multilateralism, protect authority of international law, and preserve the norms of international relations. Under the strategic leadership of Chinese President and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, bilateral ties have withstood the test of COVID pandemic and the changing international situation. Wang said, adding that in both countries, economic and social activities are slowly returning to normal. China and Russia have firmly backed each other in the international arena, defended both countries' rightful interests, and effectively responded to the attacks and defamation from some extremist forces. As this year marks the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II and the founding of the United Nations, the two countries have jointly preserved the outcome of the victory, maintained the core position of the UN, upheld international fairness and justice, and served as a stabilizer in the volatile international situation. Wang said that China is ready to work with Russia to make comprehensive preparations for future interactions. He said both countries should continue their close coordination, better cooperation, to improve pandemic prevention and explore new ways of cooperation amid the pandemic and facilitate cross-border movement of people and freight. For his part, Sergei Lavrov said Russia is willing to closely interact with China to put forward important events on bilateral and multilateral agendas. Lavrov said Russia stands ready to strengthen strategic coordination with the Chinese side, attach importance to the central role of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations in regional cooperation, and maintain regional peace and stability.
Chinese Minister of Commerce announced at a regular press conference that China's capital Beijing unveiled an all-encompassing plan to open up its service sector to foreign investors. Under the new blueprint, Beijing aims to become a national comprehensive demonstration zone, a service model for the rest of the country by 2030. From facilitating cross-border flows of capital, employment and data to setting up foreign art routes in the city, Beijing's latest announcement to free up the service sector is being touted as one of its biggest steps towards opening up. China's Vice Minister of Commerce Wang Xuan said the plan, which comes on the heels of President Xi Jinping's speech at the International Fair for Trade and Services, is in the same vein of pursuing innovative, opening up measures that cover the needs of key industries and areas, as well as institutional and systematic demands. The financial sector arguably gets the biggest boost from the Beijing plan, which includes support measures for overseas securities and future firms to set up shop in the capital with sole proprietorship. It also encourages foreign invested companies to participate in stock and bond trading and promises unprecedented access to once restricted areas. Wang said that foreign investors have expressed a strong wish to get into the telecommunications sector. Now the plan will allow foreign companies to invest in virtual private networks with a proportion of foreign shares not exceeding 50%. Overseas telecommunications providers can set up joint ventures to provide such services for foreign enterprises in Beijing. According to Wang, the financial sector accounts for nearly a quarter of the overall plan. In addition, the plan has also developed a series of preferential measures in the fields of culture, tourism, education, healthcare, and professional services.
The German finance minister Olaf Scholz, who was hosting the Berlin meeting as his country currently holds the presidency of the 27-member bloc, said the EU finance ministers would discuss digital taxation and how to proceed on the matter. He said officials will also discuss how to deal with the big international questions on minimum taxation and the taxation on large digital platforms, as well as taking in general terms digitalization for the financial sector. A digital tax is among the proposals to give the EU its own revenues as a way to pay back jointly issued debt, which was created during the pandemic. The bloc decided in July to jointly borrow 750 billion euros on the market and spend it to kickstart the economies. Scholz said that after the officials decided to take the very big debt, as the European Union tackles the crisis together, to work against the crisis and to work on the recovery in Europe, it's necessary that they are also deciding the question how to pay this debt back. Scholz also joined the vocal chorus of the European Union finance ministers, calling for Great Britain to stick to the existing Brexit agreement.
Japanese Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihide Suga, widely expected to become Prime Minister next week, said that he will consider topping up payouts to households and companies to cushion the economic blow from the coronavirus pandemic. Suga repeated that Japan must focus on reviving the economy before considering ways to fix its tattered finances, ruling out another rise in the national sales hike for a decade. He made the remarks at a debate ahead of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party leadership election on September 14th to pick a successor to Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Abe said last month he would resign due to ill health after nearly 8 years in office. The winner of the party vote is virtually assured to become Prime Minister because of the LDP's parliamentary majority. Rival candidate Shigeru Ishiba said the Bank of Japan should not make any immediate changes to its ultra-easy monetary policy, as doing so would destabilize markets, but he said the central bank should re-examine its policy framework in the long run to adapt to structural changes in Japan's society without elaborating. Suga, a longtime loyal Abe aide, said he would seek solid communication with neighboring countries such as China and South Korea. Abe oversaw an improvement in ties with Beijing, but those with Seoul have been chilled by rows over the wartime past. Suga also defended his diplomatic experience, noting he was present at and helped prepare for Abe's telephone chats with US President Donald Trump, with whom Abe forged warm ties.
The massive temples and pyramids of Teotihuacan, one of Mexico's top tourist destinations, reopened to visitors on September the 10th, more than 5 months after closing in an effort to stem the pandemic. A trickle of tourists could be seen along the ancient city's main thoroughfare, the so-called Avenue of the Dead, though they were not allowed to scale the site's 3 tallest pyramids. The main archaeological zone will be limited to 3,000 visitors a day, with both temperature checks and masks required before going forward. 2 local museums will remain closed. The reopening is also welcome news for vendors like Maria de la Lourdes Guerra, who has been selling souvenirs at the site for over 40 years. Mexico has been hard hit by the pandemic, with nearly 650,000 total infections and almost 70,000 deaths confirmed to date by health authorities. Its total caseload is the 7th highest in the world. Teotihuacan, located 30 miles northeast of Mexico City, was once the largest in the Americas. Experts say the metropolis of around 100,000 people grew rich between 100 BC to 550 AD, thanks to a bustling economy that produced crafts including razor-sharp obsidian blades for knives and weapons. Designated a World Heritage Site in 1987, it remains shrouded in mystery. Its native language is unknown, as is the city's original name. It was given its name, Teotihuacan, by the Aztecs some 8 centuries after its collapse. In Nahuatl, which is still spoken by several million indigenous Mexicans, Teotihuacan means abode of the gods.
This has been Business Review, your daily source for the most critical financial stories. Tune in next time for the latest financial news impacting the world economy.